Welcome back to Demo Hub Pod, exploring the cutting edge of tech and AI.
Powered by AI.
That's right, powered by AI. Today we're going to be diving into something that's got the whole tech world buzzing.
Yeah,
It seems like how AI is changing the game in scientific discovery.
it really is.
We're going to unpack what that means for all of you as tech professionals,
Yeah.
so buckle up.
Yeah.
We're talking about things like AI predicting the weather faster and more accurately than ever before,
Yeah.
uncovering a whole treasure trove of new materials and even tackling those crazy complex math problems that would make your head spin.
Yeah, it's really interesting because AI isn't just a tool for analysis anymore. It's
Yeah.
like a partner in discovery. So
Right.
scientists are using it to ask like bolder questions and explore solutions that were basically off the table before. And this shift has massive implications,
Yeah.
not just for research labs, but for the development of new tech that's going to shape our world.
Okay, so let's break this down.
Okay.
Our first source is a podcast from Google DeepMind, where Pushmeet Kohli, their head of scientific research, talks about AI giving scientists these almost unbelievable superpowers.
Mm-hmm.
They even compare it to the invention of the telephone.
It's a great comparison because just like the telephone connected people across huge distances for the first time, AI is opening up completely new avenues of exploration.
Wow.
And we can see this with AlphaFold, which has seriously revolutionized biology.
AlphaFold, right.
Yeah.
It can predict how proteins fold into their 3D shapes just from their amino acid sequences.
Exactly.
And this used to take years of painstaking lab work.
Years.
Now researchers have the AlphaFold database at their fingertips
Mhm.
with the structures of almost all known proteins. That's 250 million structures, all freely available.
I mean, this is a complete game changer.
Yeah.
Understanding a protein's structure is the foundation for so many fields, from developing new drugs to creating advanced materials. And AlphaFold has made this critical knowledge accessible to everyone, which is speeding up research and development across the board.
So what does all this mean for you as a tech professional? Well, tools like AlphaFold are becoming must-haves for anyone in tech, especially if you're involved in research and development.
Right.
If you haven't checked them out yet, now's the time.
Absolutely. These AI-powered tools can seriously boost your productivity,
Yeah.
help you solve complex problems faster and with more accuracy. And being able to leverage these superpowers is going to be a major advantage for tech professionals moving forward.
Now let's switch gears to something a little closer to home. Weather prediction.
Okay.
Our next source shows how AI isn't just improving the accuracy of forecasts, it's making those predictions lightning fast.
Yeah.
Google DeepMind's GraphCast can crank out weather predictions in minutes, outperforming traditional models that could take hours.
The speed and accuracy of GraphCast are pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
And it gets even better. It's incredibly good at predicting extreme weather events.
Yeah.
For example, GraphCast accurately predicted the landfall of Hurricane Lee a full 9 days in advance.
9 days.
9 days.
That's unheard of.
Yeah.
Traditional models struggled to give us accurate predictions, even a few days out.
Right.
This level of accuracy is a big deal for everyone,
Huge.
not just the weather folks.
For everyone.
We're talking better preparation for disasters, smoother logistics, and even improvements in agriculture.
And think about the bigger picture. Faster, more accurate weather predictions will be crucial for dealing with the impacts of climate change.
Oh, absolutely.
Imagine knowing exactly when and where extreme weather will hit.
Right.
That could save countless lives and protect vital infrastructure.
It's amazing to think about the impact this could have.
Yeah.
But AI's influence on science goes way beyond weather forecasting.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Let's talk about material science.
Okay.
Right now, we're heavily reliant on materials like lithium for batteries, but we all know that these materials have their limits.
Yeah, they do.
They're not ideal for every situation.
You're right. The limitations of current materials are holding us back in so many areas, from renewable energy to electronics. And this is where AI is stepping in with a totally new approach to discovering materials.
Our sources mention that traditionally scientists have only had about 20,000 known materials to work with.
Right.
With AI, we're suddenly talking about a potential pool of 2.2 million materials.
That's a mind-blowing increase in possibilities.
It is.
AI algorithms can suggest atomic structures for new materials, which scientists can then test out in the lab. It's like having a superpowered research assistant
Right.
that can sift through a ridiculous number of options and pinpoint the most promising ones.
But here's where things get really interesting.
Yeah.
Figuring out if these newly discovered materials are stable, how useful they are, and how to actually produce them.
Yeah.
That's a whole new challenge.
It's a challenge for sure, but it's also a massive opportunity.
Yeah.
It could lead to breakthroughs in battery technology, renewable energy, and countless other fields that impact our everyday lives.
Now, we can't wrap up this first part of our deep dive without tackling a real brain teaser. Can AI crack those super abstract, complex math problems that even brilliant humans struggle with?
This is where AI faces some of its biggest hurdles.
Yeah.
Traditional approaches like the brute force methods used in games like chess or Go don't really translate to abstract mathematical reasoning. It's just a different beast.
So how are researchers approaching this problem?
Whoa!
Are they just throwing more computing power at it and hoping for the best?
Not quite. While more computing power definitely helps, researchers are exploring entirely new approaches that mirror how humans tackle math. They're trying to build AI systems that can not only work with symbols, but actually understand the concepts and relationships behind those symbols, enabling them to reason and make deductions more like we do.
So instead of just crunching numbers, they're trying to teach AI to think like a mathematician.
Exactly. One area where this is happening is in developing AI systems that can prove mathematical theorems. This requires AI to understand the logic and structure of mathematical arguments, which is far more challenging than just calculating a number.
We even saw mention of the International Math Olympiad in our research.
Uh-huh.
Are they using those notoriously difficult problems to test AI's mathematical abilities?
They are. The Olympiad problems are designed to push the limits of human ingenuity and problem-solving skills. Using them as a benchmark for AI is a way to see just how far AI can go in abstract reasoning.
So it sounds like we've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive.
A lot.
We've seen how AI is revolutionizing protein structure, prediction, weather forecasting, and materials discovery, and we've even touched on its foray into pure mathematics.
Absolutely. It's clear that AI is becoming a driving force in innovation across almost every scientific discipline.
Absolutely. Before we move on to the next part of our deep dive, I'd love to hear from you, our listeners. What are your thoughts on how AI is changing the game in scientific discovery? What other fields do you think AI could revolutionize? Let us know in the comments below.
Yeah, it's definitely a fascinating time to be in tech. The pace of innovation is accelerating, and AI is right at the heart of it. This is a golden opportunity for anyone willing to embrace this change and learn the new skills that are becoming essential.
Speaking of those new skills, something that jumped out at me from our research is how working with AI in science often demands a multidisciplinary approach. We even came across a quote from Pushmi Kohli where he talked about starting at DeepMind and realizing he needed to learn about all these different scientific fields from scratch.
That's a pretty common experience for people working at the intersection of AI and science. It takes a willingness to step outside your comfort zone and learn from experts in other areas.
Kohli even admitted to starting with Wikipedia. I love that he's not afraid to say he doesn't know everything. It just shows how important continuous learning and collaboration are, even for someone at the top of their game.
What matters most is the ability to grasp new concepts quickly and apply them to the problem at hand. AI researchers working in science need to bridge the gap between different disciplines, translating complex scientific questions into computational problems that AI can help solve.
So what does that mean for someone who's interested in this field? What are the most important skills to have?
Well, being a great coder is definitely important, but it's not the whole story. You also need to be a great communicator and collaborator. Being able to explain complex AI concepts to scientists from various backgrounds is crucial. You have to understand their challenges, show them the potential of AI, and work together to develop solutions that are both scientifically rigorous and computationally feasible.
I'm sensing a theme here. Adaptability, curiosity, and a willingness to learn seem to be key. It makes me wonder how traditional education might need to evolve to prepare the next generation of tech professionals for this new reality.
That's a great point. Educational institutions need to catch up to the rapidly changing demands of the tech industry. We need to move beyond narrow specializations and encourage a more interdisciplinary approach, helping students build a strong foundation in both technical and scientific principles.
Makes sense. Now, before we move on, I wanted to touch on something that's been creating a lot of buzz lately. Generative AI, especially large language models, or LLMs as they're called. Are these powerful tools finding their way into scientific research as well?
Absolutely. LLMs are already being used in a variety of scientific applications. One area where they're showing huge promise is in analyzing the massive amounts of text-based data in scientific literature.
So instead of just looking at structured data like numbers and tables, LLMs can actually understand the insights and knowledge buried within scientific papers and reports.
Exactly. This is incredibly powerful because it allows us to learn from the collective experience of scientists across generations. LLMs can identify patterns and connections that humans might miss potentially, leading to new discoveries and insights.
That's amazing. It's almost like having a super-powered research assistant that can read and understand thousands of scientific papers and then tell you what's important and what connections you might be missing.
There's another exciting application of LLMs emerging in science. They can be used to generate hypotheses and suggest potential experiments guiding scientists toward promising avenues of exploration.
So they can not only analyze what we already know, but also help us figure out what we don't know. That's pretty mind-blowing.
It is. LLMs are still in their early stages of development, but their potential in scientific discovery is vast. They could fundamentally change how we conduct research, speed up innovation, and help us tackle some of the biggest challenges facing humanity.
I could definitely see why people are so excited about LLMs. But even with all these advancements, AI still has its limitations, right? Especially when it comes to those really complex tasks that require a deep understanding of abstract concepts.
That's right. AI has made incredible progress, but there are still areas where it struggles. One example that keeps coming up in our research is the challenge of AI solving complex mathematical problems. Unlike games like chess or Go, where AI excels through brute force computation, math often requires a different kind of intelligence, one that can grasp abstract concepts and reason logically.
So how are researchers tackling this challenge? Are they just throwing more computing power at it?
Not exactly. While increased computing power is helpful, researchers are also exploring new approaches that are more in line with how humans approach math. They're developing AI systems that can not only manipulate symbols, but also understand the meaning behind those symbols and the relationships between them.
So instead of just crunching numbers, they're trying to teach AI to think like a mathematician.
You got it. One area where this is being explored is in the development of AI systems that can prove mathematical theorems. This requires AI to understand the underlying logic and structure of mathematical arguments, a much tougher task than just calculating a numerical answer.
We saw that the International Math Olympiad was mentioned in our research. Are they using those problems, which are known for being incredibly difficult to test AI's mathematical abilities?
Yes, they are. The International Math Olympiad features some of the most challenging math problems in the world, designed to test the ingenuity and problem-solving skills of the brightest young mathematicians. Using these problems as a benchmark for AI allows researchers to push the boundaries of what AI can achieve in abstract reasoning.
It sounds like AI still has a ways to go before it can compete with the top human mathematicians.
That's true, but the progress being made is encouraging afar. Developing AI systems that can reason mathematically at a high level has implications that go far beyond just solving Olympiad problems.
And what kind of real-world applications are we talking about here? What could this kind of AI be used for?
The ability to reason mathematically is fundamental to so many areas of science and technology. AI systems that can master this skill could lead to breakthroughs in fields like cryptography, materials, science, and even fundamental physics. Imagine AI helping us crack the code of the universe.
It's not just about solving equations, then it's about understanding the underlying principles that govern our world.
Exactly. AI that can reason mathematically could unlock new scientific discoveries and help us develop technologies that we can't even fathom today.
It's truly mind-boggling to think about the possibilities. What I'm curious about is, with all this talk about AI's potential, are there any risks or ethical concerns we need to be aware of, especially as this technology becomes more powerful and integrated into our lives?
That's a really important question and one that deserves its own deep dive. As AI becomes more sophisticated and plays a larger role in scientific research and decision-making, it's crucial that we develop ethical guidelines and safeguards to ensure that it's used responsibly and for the benefit of humanity.
We've already seen some of these ethical concerns play out in other areas like facial recognition and social media algorithms. It seems clear that we need to be proactive in establishing guidelines and regulations for AI.
Absolutely. We need to have open and honest conversations about the potential risks of AI and involve a diverse range of voices in shaping the future of this technology. It's not just a matter for scientists and engineers, it's a societal issue that affects us all.
That brings us back to our listeners, the tech professionals who are building and using these AI tools. What role do you think tech professionals have in ensuring that AI is developed and used responsibly?
Tech professionals are at the forefront of the AI revolution, and they have a critical role to play in shaping its ethical development. It starts with awareness and education. Tech professionals need to be informed about the potential biases and risks associated with AI and equipped with the skills and knowledge to mitigate those risks.
So it's not just about writing code, it's about understanding the wider impact of the technology you're creating.
Exactly. Tech professionals need to think critically about the potential consequences of their work and advocate for responsible AI development within their organizations and the broader tech community.
I like that advocating for responsible AI. It's not just about following orders. It's about taking ownership of the ethical implications of your work.
And it's not just about preventing harm, it's also about using AI to create positive change in the world. AI has the potential to address some of the most pressing challenges facing humanity, from climate change to disease to poverty. Tech professionals have a unique opportunity to harness the power of AI for good.
It's inspiring to think about the potential for positive impacts. So far, we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive, from protein structure prediction to weather forecasting to materials science and even pure mathematics. It's clear that AI is transforming the way science is done, and the pace of innovation is only increasing.
It's an exciting time to be involved in science and technology. AI is giving us tools to explore the universe in ways that were never before possible, and the potential for new discoveries and breakthroughs is immense.
Before we wrap up this second part, let's bring it back to our listeners, the tech professionals who are on the front lines of this AI revolution. What are some practical steps they can take to stay ahead of the curve, especially for those who might be feeling a bit overwhelmed by all of this and are wondering where to start?
I would say the first step is to focus on building a solid understanding of the fundamentals of AI. There are so many great resources available online and in libraries, from introductory courses to in-depth textbooks. Choose a learning path that fits your current skill level and interests, and commit to building a strong foundation.
So start with the basics. What about those who already have a good grasp of AI concepts? What's the next step for them?
For those who are already familiar with AI, I'd recommend exploring the specific applications of AI in the scientific fields that are most relevant to their work. Attend conferences, read research papers, and connect with experts in those fields. Networking and learning from the best is invaluable.
So get out there, network, learn from the best, and stay curious. What about those who might be feeling a bit intimidated by the complexity of AI? It can seem like a very technical and specialized field.
I understand that feeling, but it's important to remember that AI is becoming more accessible every day. There are so many user-friendly tools and platforms available that allow you to experiment with AI without needing a deep understanding of the underlying algorithms.
Don't be afraid to jump in and get your hands dirty.
Exactly. The best way to learn is by doing that. Start with a small project, maybe something related to your work or a personal interest, and see what you can create with the AI tools that are available.
I love that approach. It's all about empowering people to explore and experiment with AI. Now, wouldn't it be amazing if one of our listeners made the next big breakthrough in AI? What a story that would be. We're going to take a quick break, but be sure to come back for the final part of our deep dive. We'll be discussing even more about the exciting world of AI and scientific discovery. Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into AI and scientific discovery. We've covered a lot of ground, from predicting protein structures to forecasting the weather and even pushing the boundaries of materials, science, and mathematics. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling pretty energized by all the possibilities AI is unlocking.
Yeah, I'm with you. It really does feel like we're at the beginning of a whole new era of scientific exploration with AI as our guide and partner.
Right. But with all this excitement, it's important to remember that AI is a tool. And like any tool, it can be used in different ways, right?
Absolutely. We need to be mindful of the implications of AI and think carefully about how we develop and use these incredibly powerful technologies. It's not enough to just focus on what AI can do. We also need to think about the potential consequences of its actions and make sure those align with our values.
Yeah, we've already seen some of these concerns pop up in other areas like facial recognition and social media algorithms.
Right.
It's definitely a reminder that we need to be proactive about establishing guidelines and regulations for AI, especially as it becomes more integrated into scientific research and decision-making.
I couldn't agree more. We need to have open and honest conversations about the potential downsides of AI and get diverse perspectives involved in shaping the future of this technology.
Absolutely.
It's not just a topic for scientists and engineers, it's a societal issue that affects everyone.
That brings us back to our audience, the tech professionals who are building and using these AI tools.
Yeah.
What do you think their role is in making sure AI is developed and used responsibly?
Well, I think tech professionals are on the front lines of this AI revolution, and they have a vital role to play in shaping its ethical development. And, it starts with awareness and education. They need to be informed about the potential biases and risks associated with AI and have the skills to mitigate those risks.
So it's not just about writing the code, it's about understanding the bigger picture of the impact your technology is creating.
Exactly. Tech professionals need to think critically about the potential consequences of their work and advocate for responsible AI development both within their companies and the broader tech community.
I love that, advocating for responsible AI. It's about taking ownership and not just following orders. It's about considering the ethical implications of your work.
And it's not just about preventing harm, it's also about using AI to make a positive difference in the world.
Right.
AI has the potential to address some of humanity's biggest challenges, from climate change and disease to poverty. Tech professionals have a unique opportunity to harness the power of AI for good.
It's inspiring to think about the potential for positive impact. It's been a fascinating journey exploring this topic with you. So to everyone listening, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into AI and scientific discovery. We hope you found it insightful and inspiring. We'd love to hear your thoughts. What are your takeaways from our conversation? What are your hopes and concerns about the future of AI in scientific discovery? Share them in the comments below. And while you're at it, hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and be sure to come back for more deep dives into the world of AI. Until next time, keep exploring.